This is the top 10 most viewed spirit shorts by Kyle Keese.
Finding a good short can be very hard, especially in this hard times of motivational age. But Kyle Keese knew what he was doing when he made these new shorts. Number 10. Control vs. freedom.
Your ego wants control. It wants power, it wants to understand, it wants to make sense out of, it wants to not get hurt. That's the whole point of the ego. Your soul wants freedom. That's what your soul wants. So when you do things that free yourself, you're moving more into your soul. When you do things that are kind of to fix things or whatever else, you're in your ego and you're controlling. So make some moves that free yourself. If you feel controlled in a situation, get out of it and free yourself. And watch as the ego's cried out as it's not catered to. If you go on a hike like I'm doing right now and you stop being like, I gotta fix these things or do this stuff with all these people or I gotta whatever, I'm scared I'm going to lose this, that's ego. When you meditate, when you connect, you move more into your soul because you're freeing yourself and the world will mirror what you're doing. So move into freedom because we're moving into a time where we are freeing ourselves and the world of control is going to completely collapse.
Finding a good short can be really hard, but Kyle Keese knew what he was doing when he made these shorts that are seen by you now. Number 9. People don't need to wake up.
One thing people say when they start to realize what's going on in the world is, I wish everyone knew this. I wish the world would wake up. People need to wake up faster and faster. And if you look at your journey and not what everyone else should do, you'll discover the next step after you see what's going on in the world is for you to not be attached to the matrix. In other words, your need for everyone to wake up and see what's going on is imprisoning you. That's the next level of your release. Once you understand what the matrix is and once you start to see the matrix, your job isn't to try to get everyone in the matrix to get it. Your job is to completely free yourself. Because the more you do this work, the more you start to realize the world is mirroring you. And that part of you that wants everyone else to wake up is an energy in your body that's stuck, that's a small kid, that's scared. And when you stop trying to shift everyone else, you break off, you listen, you let the universe take over, and it's gone. And then the matrix starts to change as a byproduct of that.
Number 8. Stop wanting it to happen.
One of the things that started coming to light was the constant feeling of when something happens, I'll be happy. When I get the next gig, or when I get the next movie, or when I book this part, or when I get to date this person. One of my first awakenings was the revelation that I was always thinking that. As I was getting these things, they were the source of my happiness, so I was actually in fear. I'd be like, well, what if I lose this? And I better get the next thing, and I better keep going. And it just started this constant chasing. And a huge shift in my life was when I left the thinking of when something happens, I'll be happy, and moved towards a new belief, which is when I'm happy, things will happen. And by happy, I mean okay with all of myself. I mean, not just big fake smile. And ironically, as I'm not chasing certain things, more amazing things just come to me. And I started realizing that if I'm chasing something, I'm actually saying it completes me. And if I'm instead connected to myself, other things that I wasn't even anticipating and could be even more of an amazing surprise can come to me.
Number 7. It's time to say goodbye.
Wouldn't it be weird if there was a person that decided they were totally done drinking and they're letting go of alcohol, and then they get a couple days out and they start to really miss the alcohol, so they go and have a shot, and then they decide they don't want to drink anymore, but then they have another shot. Obviously, if the person wants to end it, they have to get away from it for a long time and heal the things inside that were addicted to that. Now that sounds obvious, but we do it with so many things in our life. We let go of someone, you go through a breakup, and then you miss them, but then you text them that you miss them, which is like the alcoholic taking a shot. You're bringing them back energetically into your life. You have a job that you don't like and you want to move to a higher job, but you keep working at the lower job, so you can't ever move forward. It's not until you get away from something for a while and see who you are without it that you can finally release it. There's a great scene in Castaway when Tom Hanks pedals away from the island, and it's not till he's away from the island that we can look back and thank the island and say goodbye to it. He can't do it while he's on the island. It's after he leaves that he finally can release it.
Number 6. Trauma bonding.
I've been trauma bonded before where I'm just like completely stuck to someone. Like I cannot let go of them. It's almost horrifying. And the more you investigate and the more you listen, the more you can actually feel it has nothing to do with them. It's there like a bridge over a specific trauma in your body that you're scared to look at. And if instead of you grabbing them or trying to be seen by them or trying to work something out with them, you seeing what that bridge is covering up, you seeing the trauma, you seeing what's there, and going for a walk with it, meditating with it, and just focusing on it versus the person, you can heal the trauma bond. If you hold a space for the thing that you're usually scared to feel, that you grab someone else in distraction of, and instead just feel the trauma. It might take a while, but the trauma will eventually be seen. It's territory you're used to not looking at. That's what makes it trauma. But if you start to look at it, you'll heal it, and you'll release your attachment to the person too.
We are now halfway through this countdown. Next one up is 5. Darkness is being purged from the world.
This is a hard, dark time because life is moving you from your small self that has been avoiding your darkness and was able to do it through massive addictive patterns and having a good enough job and the belief that life is just achievement. That was going on till 2020. Now we're screwed in a good way. Your egoic self is dying. So God can go, this was in here, this false anxiety, this belief that you're not enough, this anxiety
from others to get what you think you need.
Yes, manipulation. All these things are coming to light. You can stay in denial of that, and I will knock you on your ass harder and harder and harder. If you think you are your money, I'm going to take it from you. If you think you are your relationship, I'm going to take it from you. I'm going to knock everything out of yourself to get you to get present with the shit that's in your body. And it's doing it to the whole planet. All the crap that you're seeing happen now was happening 30 years ago. It was just no one knew it was there. There was a second story to your house you didn't know about.
Number 4. Worst contestant ever? ?
This president was in office during the infamous Iran-Contra scandal.
Oh, wow. I think I know this. I think it's Reagan.
You think it's Reagan?
There's a lot riding on this. What do you guys think? Audience?
Nixon! It's Nixon!
They're saying Nixon. I would recommend saying Nixon.
Yeah, I'm going with Nixon.
You're going with Nixon, you sure?
Definitely.
All right, he's going with Nixon, everybody. The answer was Ronald Reagan.
They were all saying Nixon.
They sure were, but your heart was saying Reagan and you didn't listen to it. Bell! Tell him what he could have had!
Well, Jonathan, you and a guest could have gone to Venice, Italy. And had you just said Ronald Reagan, you would have won a new Ferrari. Hot fun!
Number 3. Next level relationships.
Space holding is a real thing. Holding a space, I think it's the best gift you can give someone. And it's very underrated. In fact, it's often seen as just airy-fairy shit. But like when you can be with a person from a present space where they're in their trauma and you're just with them, they can release that shit. That is like the greatest gift you can give someone. Now, there's some people in your life that won't want to release it, and that's fine. They might run away from you. It might not work. You want to have the ultimate relationship, you learn to hold space and find a space holder. It's over because both of you are the space. So when one's triggered, the other one's there. This one's triggered, that one's there. God, you'll both cry out your shit and expand together. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. Being a space holder is a gift from God. It is God. It's you becoming a space and being the unconditional love that God is. So learn that and you'll free everything in your life and you will find only the match to that is what you'll bring into your life. It's just amazing.
Number 2, lava vs attachment.
You're sad because you've lost connection to someone, whether it's a family member or you've broken up with someone or whatever, and you feel all this darkness and sadness and you're thinking that that's love. That's attachment. That's not love. Attachment is I'm really hurting because this person's not here. That's about you and your ego and you having to face your own darkness and feeling the illusions of things like I'm not needed, I'm not loved, whatever. That's egoic connections based on your childhood. So when you were a kid, you were literally trained by parental egos. So as a child, you literally have to maneuver around whatever they are to be seen, to survive, to eat, to get seen, to be loved, to feel touch, whatever with a family member. If they're in their own alcoholism or their own anger or their own darkness or whatever, you start to create your own ego to maneuver around what they do. And then you make the false assumption that that character you just created so that you could eat or be housed or held or loved is you. But it's a character you created in order to protect yourself.
And before we get to the number 1 slot, make sure you like, click, and subscribe. Heart. Make sure you subscribe. Heart. Make sure you subscribe. Heart. Number 1. Your ego will choose the wrong person.
Most people that don't want to feel abandoned find the most unavailable people so that they can fix it. It's what they're saying is, I could change my childhood if I find a person who would abandon me and stop them from abandoning me.
Yes, I feel like I'm always doing that. Oh
Right.
my gosh, it's so frustrating.
I'll tell you something to your ego. A dude that's grounded, that's ready, that's cleared all of the other stuff, ready, present, and wants you, probably would bore you.
That's kind of like who I'm dating.
Yes. The ego chooses people that it wants to fix so that it can fix the childhood. When you start to connect with your soul, you start to ask, what does the soul want, right? The ego goes, I don't want to be abandoned anymore. So who would abandon me? I'm going to change them. The soul goes, who would not abandon me?
Wow, I guess those shorts really did have content in them. Make sure you like and watch, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching Kyle Keese and his shorts that came to you for your enjoyment and growth. Attachment. Why would attachment be in there? What's your favorite Kyle Keese short? Let us know in the comments.